There are two things people do in this world. 1, subscribe to WatchMojo videos, and 2, get hurt. Today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 video game characters that always get hurt. For this list, we're looking at any characters in gaming who've gotten more than their fair share of injuries, be they gruesomely scripted ones or cheap insta-kills. I'm Todd Habercorn, and have I been hurt before? Oh, you better believe it. I'm looking at you, Super Mario Final Castle, any boss in Mega Man, Dark Souls 1 through 3, Resident Evil 0, and pretty much any video game I've ever laid in my Asian hands.
Let's get ready to mojo!
Wait, now you're making a mistake.
Wait, don't listen!
Number 10, everybody, Mortal Kombat series. It's easily one of the most violent video game franchises out there, where brutally pummeling your opponents to death is pretty much your only goal. With a dazzling array of grisly fatalities varying from character to character, newcomers are bound to get hooked trying to discover all the awesome ways to kill and be killed.
Raiden wins.
The injuries are so gratuitous that they've led to many of the titles to be banned, or at least censored, in a dozen different countries. It's almost sad to think that there are people who will never have the satisfaction of watching Sub-Zero rip out somebody's spine. Number 9, Roger Wilco, Space Quest series. He's probably the galaxy's unluckiest janitor, scouring the known universe in search of truth, justice, and really clean floors, but keeps getting himself killed in a hilarious fashion along the way. In his mission to save mankind, he's ended up dead as a result of beginners, traps, powerful enemies, or just doing something stupid, like walking out of an airlock without a helmet on. If I had a nickel. It's hard to stay mad at the game for these often cheap tactics, since with every death, a new, unique, and sarcastic message will appear on screen, comedically berating Wilco for his unending stupidity. Number 8, Isaac Clarke, Dead Space series. A gory sci-fi spectacle that prides itself on the amount of horrifying endings it can dish out to its protagonist. This poor engineer has suffered some of the most inventive expirations to date, whether it's getting ripped apart by a surprise boss or sucked through a hull breach and accidentally chopped in half by the emergency shutters. These deaths are so viscerally captivating that just seeing them is worth having to start over from the nearest save point. Remember, don't turn off your console when you see the save icon on the bottom of the screen. And who could forget the nail-biting moment where Isaac needs to have a needle inserted into his eyeball in a scene which can end with the machine drilling right through his skull. Number 7, Big B Wolf, The Wolf Among Us.
Yes, very ugly, but not life-threatening. I can't say the same for these bullets peppered throughout your vital organs.
The more famous a fable is, the easier they can recover from wounds that would prove fatal to any Mundy. That's why the big bad wolf can go through so many traumatic injuries and still come out relatively okay. Despite his Wolverine-like regenerative abilities, the most memorable wound this sheriff has suffered isn't the most lethal, but it's certainly not pretty.
Look, I'm a bit engaged saving his life at the moment, but if the fractured extremity concerns him that much, he can set it himself.
After yet another fight, Big B ends up with a severely broken arm, the bloody bone sticking a good few inches out of his skin. With Dr. Swinehart busy removing bullet fragments, it becomes the player's responsibility to brutally reset Big B's arm in a painful scene that will make you think twice before getting into a fight with a big bad wolf. Number 6, Nathan Drake, Uncharted series.
Whoa there, cowboy.
Thanks for leaving me at the dock.
This treasure-hunting rogue is one of gaming's most beloved heroes, but that hasn't stopped Naughty Dog from really putting him through his paces.
Okay, wait.
His plane got shot down over a South American jungle. He was in another plane crash that landed him in the middle of the Ruba Kali Desert. Then there was the one time he had to escape a sinking ship, and of course, we can't forget about the exploding mummies. However, without a doubt, his most iconic injury comes from Among Thieves, where the game opens with Nate bleeding from a gunshot wound in a train carriage hanging off the edge of a mountain. Technically, he should be fine, right? I mean, he's got AAA. Number 5, Clementine, The Walking Dead series. If you thought Lee had it rough in the first season, just wait until you see what Clem had to go through in what has to be one of the worst childhoods in all of gaming. There was that one time she had to treat a vicious dog bite on her arm by sewing it up with fishing line. Or that one optional scene in A New Frontier where she had a car door slammed on her fingers until they shattered, geez. Along with all the emotional trauma she's endured, it really couldn't have gotten much worse for the poor girl. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, she got her leg chopped off with an axe right at the end of the final season. Glad I remembered. I was about to axe you about that. Hashtag dad joke. Oh, barf. Number 4, Dirk the Daring, Dragon's Lair. In this notoriously difficult arcade game, you're going to fall victim to more cheap deaths than you can shake a retro controller at. All hand-drawn by ex-Disney animator Don Bluth, the legend behind the Rescuers and the Secret of Nim. This means that despite the incredible frustration felt by anyone and everyone who's played this classic, you can't fault the animation. Ooh. It certainly made the countless horrors Dirk had to endure all the more entertaining, though you have to wonder if Daphne is really worth all the effort. Is a medieval booty call worth having all your skin melted off a dozen times over? Think about it. Number 3, Ethan Winters, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Wait!
The course of true love never did run smooth. In his desperation to find his missing wife, Mia, Ethan heads on down to Louisiana, seemingly freeing her from her imprisonment, only to find she's now monstrous and homicidal, going as far as to cut off his hand with a chainsaw. While he finds the means to get it reattached, it's not long before the game unloads a treasure trove of bodily harm his way. Jack Baker cuts off his leg with a shovel, his wife Marguerite peppers him with killer insects, while their psycho son Lucas throws him into a homemade death trap like something out of Saw. Dude, just get a divorce. Number 2, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. Despite being one of the most iconic heroines in gaming, famous for her ability to brush off any kind of danger flung her way, the 2013 reboot to the series put Lara through the ringer. She's shipwrecked, kidnapped, tortured, and beaten, and seemingly has no end to her bad luck. While her game-over animations are gory enough, the worst injuries are the ones she goes through for the sake of the story, such as getting set on fire, impaled by a metal rod, as well as stepping in a bear trap and nearly drowning in a river of human blood. Otherwise known as just another Saturday for any of the kids in the Losers Club.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. BJ Blazkowicz, Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus.
Try not to get killed if you don't mind.
While Terror Billy has gotten into his fair share of scraps with his Nazi overlords in previous Wolfenstein games, it's in The New Colossus that this habit really came to a head, literally. For most of the game, this all-American badass is barely clinging on to life, which is eventually severed when he's captured by the Nazis and publicly decapitated.
The old and the weak are doomed.
That's gotta be a harrowing experience, to say the least. No worries, though, since his allies retrieved his severed cranium and attached it to a new body so he could continue to kick ass. Now get out there, BJ. Go grab those Nazis by their lemons and make lemonade.
This is our U-boat now, Nazi. You ain't getting it back.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.